Welcome back to the garage, guys. We recently shot a video with the top 10 mistakes people make when building a DIY CNC plasma cutter. Today we're going to follow that up and do the top 10 mistakes people make when running a CNC plasma cutter. Number 10, using the incorrect speed. Now this is travel speed, or how fast your plasma or your CNC is moving around the cut job. You can either be too slow or too fast. If you're too slow, you're going to get a massive amount of dross on the part. You're also going to have an extremely wide kerf on your part. So if you're going too fast, you'll have a very inconsistent cut. You may have gaps in the cut. It may cut okay for a while and then not cut all the way through and then start cutting it okay again for a while. So the one way to tell if you're going the correct speed is to look at the side of your cut or a finished cut. And you will see some cut marks along the side, and you're looking for those to be about at a 15-degree angle. Not straight up and down, but they should be trailing a little bit on the bottom behind. Another way to look at it is when you're watching your cut, you should see very little sparks coming out the top of the cut. So all the sparks should be at the bottom. You do get a little bit coming out on the top, and when you turn a corner, that angle of where the sparks come out will shift 90 degrees each time you turn a corner. Number 9, incorrect pierce height. Generally speaking, your cutting height is going to be about 1.5 millimeters, give or take a little bit. We recommend pierce height to be 1.5 times what your cutting height is. So in this case, that'd be 2.25 millimeters would be normal for a pierce height. If you have your pierce height too low, you may not initiate an arc because you're touching the metal. Number 2, you are going to get splatter up on your tooling, and it can instantly ruin your tooling before you even start your job. So you don't want to be too low. If you're too high, there's also a chance it may not initiate the arc from your pilot arc to the real arc, or it may not pierce all the way through the metal. So it's really important to have a proper pierce height set. Number 8 ties in right with number 9 with our pierce. Having an incorrect pierce delay. You need to have a pierce delay long enough so the metal, or so that the arc goes all the way through the metal and it can begin cutting. If you start to move before you're pierced, you're never going to get a good cut. Even if your speeds are set correctly later on, the pierce is very important. It's always better to err on the side of a too long of a pierce than too little of a pierce. If you have too long of a pierce, you get a little larger hole where it starts, and then your cut takes off for the normal kerf width. Now, does that larger hole cause problems? In most cases, it doesn't, because that's going to be where your lead-in starts. On most of your cuts, you're going to have a lead-in before you start the real cut. So if you have a little larger hole at the beginning of the lead-in, no problem. It's always better to err on too long than too short. Number 7, not understanding the duty cycle of your plasma cutter. So what does the duty cycle mean? It means in a 10-minute increment. If you have a 40% duty cycle at 50 amps, if you're running at 50 amps, you shouldn't run more than 4 minutes in a 10-minute stretch. So there's some things you can do when setting up your job, like your probe commands. When you're running a cut, every time that it's starting a new cut, you can probe. That takes time away from your duty cycle. So just be aware of that. You may also have to put some pauses in there. There's different ways to do it if you're running a very long job, but you just need to be aware of it. Now, what happens if you overextend or overpush your duty cycle? Well, you're going to get a weak arc. As that transformer and things heat up in the machine, your arc won't be as strong. So if you're running at 50 amps, it'll act like it's using less amps. If you continue to push the machine, you may actually critically harm your machine and it'll fail to run. Number 6, improper cutting holes with your CNC plasma cutter. So first thing I'm going to talk about is your limitations. Generally speaking, you can only cut a hole diameter equal to the thickness of your metal. That would be the minimum size. So if you're running 1/8 inch metal, the smallest you're going to be able to cut a hole is 1/8 diameter. 1/4 inch metal, a 1/4 inch diameter hole. Now, we've found to get real nice holes, it's actually closer to maybe 1.25 or 1.5 the size or diameter for the thickness of the metal. The second part of this is the speed. When cutting a hole, it's recommended you reduce your speed to 60% of your normal travel speed. Now, we talked about it earlier on cutting too fast and looking for that 15% angle. Now, remember, your kerf is running 15% angle, and if you go around in a circle, it'll actually form a funnel because the bottom is behind the top. So it'll create a funnel. That's why it's important to slow down and get that kerf to be more vertical when cutting a hole. Number 5, not framing or outlining your job before you hit run on the machine. So what this is if you're set up a piece of metal on your machine and you're going to cut a job that takes up almost all of your metal, there's a function in open builds that you can do an outline. Once you set your origin point, it'll go around all of your job to make, and you can watch the torch to make sure that you don't need to reposition your metal a little bit. There's one job we do on 2x4 plates that we only have an 1/8 inch out of 2 feet by 4 foot tolerance. So we have to use that function and adjust the plate perfectly. It's also useful if you're using an old plate that's got a bunch of parts cut out of it. You can pick a section you think is big enough, set your origin, and run the frame or the outline to see that you have enough room in that area to cut your part out. Number 4, not knowing where your 0 point is. There's actually 2 0 points. There's a 0 point in your job in the computer, and there's a 0 point for the machine. You have to get those two synced up before you hit play. We've got some videos on this to look at, but basically, we always say to set your 0 point on the bottom left of the machine or of the job. So in this case, if we were cutting out this piece, we would move the torch over to this corner and set the 0 point. Because when we made the job, we also set that point as the 0 point. Number 3, not running clean, dry air. This can have a dramatic effect on your tooling and your tooling life. If you've got bad air, you're going to have bad cuts. There's no way around it. One of the things we recommend is a water separator. Now, it's important for your water separator to be a ways away from your air compressor. I think they recommend 20 feet of hose. So we always have that set up way down line, and then we run a shorter hose back to the plasma cutter. So the reason you want that distance between the air compressor and the water separator is so that the air can cool and the water can condense so that it can get removed from the air. But you need to have something to remove the water and filter your air to your plasma cutter. Number 2, not knowing when to change your consumables. Well, this is a difficult one. There's no cut and dried ways, but consumables need to be changed regularly. Now, how do you tell when it's time to change consumables? Well, the first thing is you're not getting nice cuts. You were getting nice cuts, you're no longer getting good cuts. The second thing that happens is sometimes you can hear a change. You're cutting, you've been cutting for a while, and all of a sudden you're starting to get some sputtering noises. Well, that's a telltale sign that you probably need to change your consumables. Another thing that happens as your nozzle is starting to blow out, you'll notice that sparks are only coming out of one side on the top. And as it turns and goes to a different direction, those sparks keep coming out in the same direction. And that's where your tip is blowing out or getting oblong in that direction. Normally it would change directions as you turn 90 degrees. Another visual cue that goes along with that is, I'm not recommending you're watching your arc, but if you are watching your arc can turn from blue to a greenish hue. That's telling you your tip is getting ready to go. Now, we've put in new consumables and had those basically become inoperable within a few seconds of installing them. Put them in, start over on the job, and boom, they're bad instantly. But normally that's caused from not having the pierce height high enough or from having the pierce delay too short. Once we've got those things dialed in, our consumable life has went way up. And that brings us to number 1. The biggest mistake you can make when running a CNC plasma cutter is not using a THC when you should be using one. When should you be using one? If your metal's bigger than, say, 2 feet by 2 feet, we've never seen a piece of metal thinner than 1/8 inch or 1/8 inch or thinner that's flat in that size. We get a lot of 2 foot by 4 foot 1/4 inch, and that's not flat. So getting nice, clean, good cuts, the THC has been critical for that. An added benefit of the THC that we didn't even realize, but by keeping that tip at a constant distance from the metal, it's dramatically increased our tooling life. I don't know, by 2 times, 4 times, 8 times, but dramatically a significant increase in tooling life. I do want to mention one last thing on the THC. I read this on a THC website a number of years ago, but it said the THC is the best thing that you can add to a CNC plasma cutter. But if not used properly, it's the worst thing you can put on a CNC plasma cutter. So it's important that you operate it properly. Well, guys, thanks a lot for sticking around to the end of the video of the top 10 mistakes that people make when running a CNC plasma cutter. We would like to understand what the mistakes you've made that weren't on our list. So make sure to put those in the comments below. And thanks for sticking around, and make sure to like and subscribe.